Good evening. This is my week 5 discussion 1 policy proposal discussion. As a reminder, the policy I would like to see implemented is mandatory threat assessment teams and training for each school district. While school mass shootings have occurred for centuries, Eric Harris's and Dylan Klebold's actions at Columbine High School in 1999 set the stage for future attacks. Since their attack, school shootings have become deadlier and more frequent, according to the Violence Project Mass Shooter Database 2020, with 6 out of 10 of the most fatal school shootings occurring in the last 15 years, though this is now outdated with the Uvalde shooting that places it as the 7 out of 10 of the most fatal school shootings occurring in the last 15 years. Thus, we have this trajectory of increasing death in the environments for which we expect our children and young adults to learn and to develop safely. There's been a surge in zero-tolerance policies regarding weapons and threats at school. Active shooter drills are common, metal detectors, cameras, locking security doors, clear backpacks. They are all steps we've taken to improve the safety of our schools. Gun legislation cycles through waves of restriction and relaxation. Yet the shooters still find loopholes in gun control laws. They ignore the zero-tolerance policies. They shoot through glass windows and shoot at armed security guards to access their targets. They too have run the same active shooter drills because they are often students or former students themselves. So threat assessment can address this problem of school mass shooters because the pathway to violence has specific implications for threat assessment, wherein a subject takes observable steps towards acts of targeted violence that can be addressed by threat assessment teams. Structured assessments of targeted violence include specific instruments like the Waiver 21, which utilize pathway steps and dynamic risk factors in analyzing those who present threats, according to White and Malloy 2007. If these behaviors can be recognized and intervened upon, this provides promising potential to prevent further mass shootings. This is a problem that affects our entire society, so it is no surprise that a policy which implements threat assessment at each district level would affect so many people. First and most obviously, the teachers and staff, such as coaches and nurses or even school counselors, will be most affected as they will be expected to understand and observe warning behaviors. Students will also be affected by this policy as they are the basis for implementing threat assessment teams and may be subject to threat assessments if they portray concerning behaviors. School administrators and school district boards are also affected as they will be in charge of implementing the policy and facilitating training as well as allocating funds. Law enforcement will be expected to partner for effective and multidisciplinary teams. Parents will be affected for those students who become subject of threat assessment. And finally, even community members will be affected as they are the taxpayers who would have to buy into the policy in order to fund it. There are many potential implications for this policy. I'm unsure how we're trying to anticipate unexpected implications, but some of the expected ones would include either an increase in taxes to fund the program or a reallocation of funds from other programs in each district. Another implication includes teachers, staff members, law enforcement members, all taking on added responsibility and increasing their workload for those who choose to be part of threat assessment teams. There could be implications for students, such as added stress, particularly for those who are interested in military, law enforcement, and weaponry, as these are potential warning behaviors. Additionally, any student who feels different or outcasted, or any student that does not get along with teaching staff may fear being targeted. There are social challenges that are extremely difficult to solve and resistant to resolution, where solving one aspect of the problem inherently unravels others. Vasiliki Bednar, 2016. With any new policy, there will be challenges in the implementation, particularly when the problem the policy seeks to address is a multifaceted issue with layers of complexity and earnest. There are many stakeholders in the problem of mass school shootings, from an international level down to individual student. But just because the problem is difficult to solve does not grant us an excuse to shy away. Rather, it should embolden us to work with fervor toward developing a resolution that will prevent such senseless deaths and progress our society into one where education does not come at the price of fearing death. And that is my presentation. Sorry, it's not quite 4 minutes. I tried to keep it short. As always, please check my comment on our discussion post in order to see my references. Thank you.